Zombie Ellich reporting in. We just ended the 18-hour stream, 18 with Lothern. So bear with me. We're gonna go through the page notes. Well, a little bit falling asleep, but I think I still have it in me for checking this out. So, Total War Warhammer 2: The Potion of Speed update. This is gonna be the page notes video. We named the video's page notes and then the name of the update. Will be on Twitch VOD and also later on YouTube. Let's see. Let's see what it says here. This automatic update arrives alongside the Shadow and the Blade Lord spec, bringing with it a huge array of content revisions, balances, bug fixes, and quality of life improvements in the Eye of the Vortex and the Mortal Empire's campaigns. Even if you haven't purchased the Shadow and the Blade, Deathmaster Snitch, and Malus Darkblade, and their intended factions of High Grief and Clan Ashen will add their distinctiveness to your campaigns, becoming potential allies or just to generally mess up your day. The watchword of this page is maintenance. We have done a host of tweaks and balance changes to all sorts of areas, as well as sorting out our faction naming consistency, reworking Black Arcs in a manner befitting their dread reputation, and some much needed optimization passes to the end-turn process in order to speed it up. We also give some of our legendary lords a makeover. Check out their in the before and after picture below. Oh, this is pretty cool. So new portraits. They made both Isabella and Sigurd even more prettier. Yeah, I like the Gale Sport as well. Okay. So, the highlight of the update, end-turn time reduction. The headline improvement in this update, we have found some useful core optimizations to the campaign gameplay systems and the AI's decision making during the end turn rounds. These improvements reduce the time it takes for each faction to take its turn when you hit the end turn button. This time reduction benefits players on all system specifications but will vary according to individual specs. So the end turn times, huge difference for what we've seen. Will make the Mortal Empire's campaign go even smoother. We'll be going faster to the campaigns. This pretty much saves over 1 hour every day. Over 1 hour every day, no doubt. Finally, one of the things I really hope for, the proper names for the factions. Faction naming changes. As many of you have noticed, there are some divergence in naming conventions between certain factions from Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2. A hangover from the early days when dwarves, for example, were the only playable dwarven faction. We have now addressed this for consistency. All world factions and some new world factions will no longer use the name of the race, but instead will have their own unique faction name. The Empire will be called Reichland, Dwarves Karazakarak, Greenskins Black Krag, Vampire Count Sylvania, Vampire Cobos the Awakened, Bretonia Kron, Udel Stalsin, and Norska Worldwalkers. Also, for the purpose of, titles, saving campaigns, and the number of campaigns. So we have played 8 Empire campaigns, and there are 8 Empire campaigns on YouTube. Next campaign will be Reichland number 1. With the new names, With the new names, we're gonna start from 1. So people know that this, when the change happened for the categorizing playlists and videos. Okay, let's see. Gotrek and Felix are now exempted from supply lines. If they are replaced by generic lord, supply lines will adjust accordingly. Other effects for Gotrek to distribute all his XP gains to the other generals. Increase the duration to 30 turns. New icons and new category descriptions have been implemented for Gotrek and Felix. Fix an issue with Gotrek and Felix will return to the player factions after their previous AI owner had died, even the player did not own the DLC. Event messages stating that Gotrek and Felix have left their faction will no longer show when players do not own the DLC. Okay. Not sure if I care about this. We'll see. Campaign ballot changes. The Cult of Sotek will now gain sacrificial offerings after battles, scaling with the enemy army strength. Oh, that's good. You may still gain 50 additional sacrificial offerings using the mark for sacrifice post-battle option. Swap scavenging runs and strengthen numbers on the scavenging tech tree, making it optional to grab the expendable trait for your clan rats. Added new late game dilemma from Reichland to spend excess prestige. Finally. So you don't have 1,000,000 prestige and you have nothing to spend it on. So this is something interesting. They didn't say what exactly it is, but might go into detail. Elector counts with non-aggression pacts with a player are now much less likely to secede from the Empire. Added slave income bonus to Dark Elf starting technology choose or die. The tech is no longer automatically gifted at the start of a campaign. It's a little bit slower research, huh? Helman's Gorst research rate bonus has been decreased from 30 to 20%. Doesn't matter. Azak the Slaughter's research rate bonus has been decreased from 25 to 20. Oh man. So not only they're not really releasing greenskin patch, but they're actually nerfing the greenskins. Damn. So damn. Poor greenskins, man, who starts with Azak, 5% more time to reach the strap-on gear. So you're gonna, instead of getting there in 120 turns, it's gonna be 130 turns. For that sweet 10 infantry for the all of armor. Increased Lizman research rate granted by the alignment of crafting from 1% per rank to 2% per rank. Ooh, that's actually pretty nice now. If you have the connection, it's gonna be 10% strength 5. Get the Lisbon technology faster. The Pirate Cow building Smuggler's Cow now grants 3% research instead of 2. The Scavenge Engineering Chain now grants 4 and 8 research instead of 3 and 6, so that's nice. Tomb King's elements now grant their research rate incrementally as they rank up instead of all at the first tier. So this doesn't say if it's more or less, maybe higher on the higher tier. Because each settlement would grant research for the Tomb Kings. The Norscan Marauder Chieftain's personal tree has been updated for parity with other lords. All skills now require 2 points to max instead of 3 and provide benefits on par or exceeding. Okay, they finally remembered the Norscans in the game. Generic personal line. Added effect bundle that increases the region vision based on the local public order. So you get improved vision now with public order. Bretonnian heroes now gain immortality when achieving a Grail Vow. Okay. The questing vow now provides 10% weapon strength instead of 10 flat armor piercing damage for lords. Hell yeah! We were making fun of this just last campaign. Skaven economy adjustments increased scaling and base income of all buildings, removed tier 1 and tier 2 energy building and reduced effects to 30, 40, 50% from 80, 90, and 100. So the generator building no longer have 5 tiers, now has tier 3, 4, and 5, but the income on all Skaven buildings have been increased. Fixed an issue where the Sacred Crossskill Regiment unit was getting poor results during auto-resolve. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. I don't think I even used that unit. It's just you. It's just you, cause all buildings do make more money now. Update the following character skill trees to include Greater Arcane Conduit instead of Arcane Conduit. Teclis. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Slan Lords, Mazdamundi, Kroak, and Moratti. So Moratti is on tier of wizards like these guys. She's in the lore. Updated several Warhammer 1 Lord and Hero starting traits with slightly improved effects across the board. So we've been bitching about main trait on generals and heroes should be defining character trait why you pick this character over the other character, and not just having just one or two good options. Now we're gonna have several good options closer to the death of the high elves. So we'll not need to just wait for a discipline. Well, in some cases the discipline will still be preferred, but there's several other traits now that will be more viable, especially for flavor. There are still some really bad traits in the game that they didn't buff. Added new skill Manifold Sorcery to Teclis. New skill to Teclis. Teclis no longer loses access to Bound Fireball when taking the Flames of the Fiend skill. There's a Fireball as well. Vampire Count's AI now absorbs the rival vampires at the start of a campaign. So Manfred will start with Tempelhof, all regions, making vampires much higher threat like they're supposed to be from the start. So, for example, if you start with Vlad, Manfred will have not just Dragenhof, but it will have Eschen, it will have Waldenhof, Tempelhof, and Fort Oberstyr. Embedded heroes now gain twice as much experience participant battles. See spies confirmed. How many times did I say they need to do this? How many times? So the heroes will level up faster in battles. It was too slow. This is amazing. Elich happy. Recruitment and unit unlock changes. Just a moment, boys. Okay. Dark Elves Dread Spears move to Settlement Chain, Bleak Swords to Tier 1 Barracks, Dark Rider Spear Cross to Tier 1 Stables, Black Ark Coursers Tier 1 Port. Interesting, Tier 1 Port for Black Ark Coursers. That's actually nice. Bleak Swords are Tier 1 Barracks, yeah, they're pretty much Emperor Swordsman tier. And Dread Spears to the main Settlement Chain. This might in some cases make stronger rebels. Dwarves, Miners to Settlement Chain. Greenskins, Goblins, Green Goblin Archer to Settlement Chain. They must have. This might be increasing the threat of rebellions, so they actually add difficulty to the game, not just bags of money and experience and items. The Tier 1 Cemetery has been removed. Okay. Clan Pestilence tweaks. Clan Pestilence has received a few nuggets of plaguey goodness to spice up their campaign. Clan Pestilence now unlocks the Rite of Pestilence when constructing the Pox Cauldron instead of Pestilent Knave. So they're gonna get Rite of Pestilence, their plague, unique plague hero that spreads Plague Priest here that explains the plague on tier 3, not tier 4. So you can pretty much plague Itza very early and walk into their city. So you basically rush Pox Cauldron to get Plague Monks, which you're gonna do in the just few turns in the game, and you can get this and get the Plague immediately. So you can just rush Itza with Plague. 5 turns later you take Itza. So they're actually buffing their Plague to be their main thing. Plague is very strong against fortified settlements. Clum Pestilence now enjoys uniquely large benefits for spreading plagues to their own forces and cities, granting growth and economic benefits for cities and powerful combat bonuses for forces. This sounds intriguing. Clum Pestilence now has access to a special under Empire building that continuously spawns a plague in the settlement above. Nice, nice. So you can spread the plague around the map. Oh damn, that adds so much flavor to the faction. New faction effects, chances plague spreading plus 30%. This is gonna add so much flavor to the faction. And we just played Clum Pestilence. I will play it again next year. Black Arc rework. To complement the Shadow and the Blade, the Black Arcs have received a mechanical overhaul to diversify their gameplay. Black Arcs are now full characters with access to items, skills, and traits. Damn. The Dark Elves, this is gonna be so much more fun going around the seas. Black Arcs are now able to blockade ports and attack coastal settlements. So, like in previous Total Wars, when actually had a fleet, you could send the fleet to attack the port, which is separate from the settlement, on the top of the settlement, which give option to make an attack or maintain blockade. Black Arcs now have access to unique skills that further improve their army, making them the true terrors of the seas. Looking forward to see that. True terrors of the seas. The Dark Elves supposed to dominate the seas. See the Black Arc? You move the other way. Important, Black Arcs present in old saves will convert to the new type, but when the old save is loaded after the new update, newly converted arcs will begin at level 1 and have no starting traits. Any arcs recruited after that point will correctly have their starting trait. Link. Battle AI changes. Improve the AI's use of healing abilities, meaning it won't activate healing abilities immediately when taking damage. So, no longer when, you know, I'm eyeballing the zombie unit, Mr. Necromancer, he's gonna just overcast Invocation Heck. Hidden items. Oh damn, what is this? What is this? We've heard you loud and clear regarding the various hidden unique items, and we have enacted the following changes. All previously hidden unique items are now visible in the skill tree of the relevant character. Hidden unique items were now always treated at a specific level instead of randomly generating. Hidden unique items now triggered in both Ironworks and Mortal Empire campaigns. The Shadow Crown for Latanar, Amulet of Darkfire for the Crown of Helbron, Shieldstone of Isha for Lariel the Radiant, Red Blades for Lockyer, Morgana's Mirror for the Faint Chanter, Sound Brilliance for Lewin, Red of Borderloo for Albric, Moonstaff of Lyliad for Teclis, Skull of Hoyt for Teclis, Wand of Caridon for Marathi, Armor of Midnight for Malekith, Heart of Valor for Tyrion, Amber Armor for Marathi, and the Mace of Ulmak for Gorok. Nice. Campaign exclusive units. You can now use campaign exclusive units in custom battles, not in ranked matches though. You can find these units in their own category near the bottom of the roster. These units are a mixture of special feature units, Electro Counts, Mortuary Cult, Skylar, Workshop, and a few special one-off units. such as Gate Guard and the Spider Hatchlings. It's not possible to save an army build containing campaign exclusive units. Bug fixes. Campaign. Slight overall improvements to both frame rates and loading times. Damn. Empire Dilemma reinforcement ballots no longer apply a trespassing penalty if no military access pact is present. That took them long enough. The mood can now be returned to its respective elector count correctly. Fixed missing light beam effect on Archaon. Fixed issue causing mortar war wagons to become unavailable for recruitment when the forge building is upgraded to tier 5. The Strider attribute now functions correctly. Previously, Strider only functioned when the unit innately had Strider. Strider now also functions if granted by an item, skill, trait, or any other dynamic source. So it only worked in our heads, boys. Only worked in our heads if they didn't had it from the start. A lot of things in this game work only in my head until proved otherwise. The following units have been updated to correctly show the Strider attribute. This is only a visual change with the exception of unit marks with star arm. So on this list of units. Empire, Bretonnia, Norsca, and Beastmen now correctly have a cooldown to their confederations when played by the AI. This goes a long way towards tackling good factions being too powerful in campaign. Okay, this is this will might tune down the Empire. Tune down the Empire. Fix an issue where a soft lock could occur when opening a full screen panel. Diplomacy when a mission panel is open. Fix the storm VFX spacing in Eastern Gulf allows the region to improve visibility of storms causing attrition. Petra Necrotech no longer gains experience. Black Arcs now gain experience. Now why is there a bug fixes on the campaign? Ikit Claw's Warpstone Telescope Chain now available to all Skaven. This allows Ikit's Clawed Quest Chain to be completed when confederating him. Wild Riders are now displayed as Shock Cavalry. Added Mountain Climate preference to balance the Guild's faction effects for clarity. The Shrine of Manaan no longer uses a placeholder icon. Stillen now receive a filthy bonus when the mood is returned to them by another elector count. Tower of the Sun now correctly uses minor settlement building instead of the major ones. The Skaven Bell Polisher follower now spawns much less frequently but can be equipped to any Skaven character. That's the one that gives more Plague Priests and used to be equipped only on the Warlock Engineer. So it's more rare but it can get equipped on more characters. Corrected Queen Bee skill so that enemy agent success chance is properly reduced. It didn't even work, huh? This is the Lamian Lord. I didn't even use them, man. It's like a lot of those things were buggy. We had proper patches before we do a full campaign with that shit. Added Razor pools to all provinces currently missing them. Fix an issue where a secession event triggered by low fealty would not initiate a war correctly via the dilemma. Fix an issue introduced in the last hotfix when declaring war on elector count wouldn't apply Imperial Authority negative after certain political events had happened. Fix an issue where Norsca could not occupy Wrecker's Point. Suits on guns, mortar now counts towards Beastslayer quest objective of recruiting one mortar. Rite of Sotek now properly causes attrition again. This didn't work? I haven't noticed. Lormas the Moon is Sunsburst Standard of Exile quest can now be completed when he is conferred by Nakai the Wanderer. Boris Stortbringer can now use his mount skills without the Beastman DLC installed. Damn. What year is it? Save games that require the steps of each DLC will now correctly communicate this in their tooltip. Skull Smasher's tribe are now immune to mountain attrition. Lord Mazdamuni's Cobra Mace of Mazdamuni cannot be completed when he is conferred by Nakai the Wanderer. Elector Count's tooltip will no longer cut off in various languages. Fix Brayherd armies previously not spawning the Four-Blooded Ox, Memblight, Ripperhorn, and Shared. I haven't even noticed. Now that I mention it, you know, those factions were quite pathetic. They don't need Brayherds, they're not beastmen. Fixed an issue causing the cohort of Huatl Sacred Crossroads to get poor results during your auto-resolve. Clicking the Electoral Machinations help page button will now take the player to the Imperial Authority help page instead of the Intrigue at Court help page. Reinforcements events for the Emperor will no longer incur a trespassing penalty. I already mentioned it. Fix the game freeze when gifting more than 255 temples to a single old one when playing as Nakai the Wanderer. I not even know what this is because I have not played this faction. Must be some kind of currency for them. Fix Gorok's victory conditions in Mortal Empire so that they no longer mention the Empire. Rebalance vocalizations which occur as a result of UI interactions. The Deviant trait for the High Elves no longer uses green text for the corruption effect. So it's bad. So the guys don't worship Slanesh, it's a bad thing. Missing UI click sound effect was added for Shield of Chakra special ability. Occupied alien colonies now allow spearmen and archers to be recruited. Brayherd destroyed events will now display the correct characters. Brayherd Battle result events will now show the correct results. Removed also from effect text in the temples of the Old Ones panel where the defenders of the Great Plan faction are bound by one of the temple effects. Gorok's Shields of Eons quest cannot be completed when he is conferred by Nakai the Wanderer. Fixed multiple end turn crashes. This is not the first time I read this line. Fix multiple end turn crashes. One of these days we're going to read in the bug fixes. Fixed an issue on Legend difficulty when loading the game just automatically kick you to main menu screen and corrupting the save file. Pepe hands. Gorok should now hold his mace correctly on the campaign map. Fixed an issue where multiple save games could not be loaded. The Red Hue can now use his mount skills without the Wood Elves DLC installed. Damn. You know, I just wish they just merged the Beastman and the Wood Elf DLC into one thing. Rebrand it. Maybe that's some add extra with it. Overpriced stuff. So many things connected to that thing. Income from Vassal Tribute should no longer be kept at 25,000 for Nakai the Wanderer. Krogar's Hand of Gods quest cannot be completed when he is conferred by Nakai the Wanderer. Various localization fixed in multiple languages. The Henwen's Pluck of Sodek quest cannot be completed when he is conferred by Nakai the Wanderer. Fix an issue that was causing holes in the Mud Isle terrain. Fix a type in Marcus Wolfer's How to Play text. Elector Count's title now localized. What? So we can see actually the title or the local content section is now correctly localized in all languages. The campaign movies no longer show culture-specific videos for faction that have DLCs specific videos associated with them. Certain roads in the Southlands will now no longer cause armies traveling on them to suffer attrition. I was bitching about this a few days ago. Correctly localize some advice referring to elector counts. Correctly localize some advice referring to defense over the Great Plan. Battle. Okay, let's see what we have a battle here. Slight overall improvements to both frame rates and loading times. So what you're saying, the game is gonna run faster, load faster, and we're gonna have better frame rate? Damn. Malagor no longer ignores shallow water penalties. Old vigor loss reduction effects have been updated to show numbers instead of medium, large, small, etc. Oh hey, this is actually nice. Nice, so you can actually see the actual number. Fixed an issue with War Machine, War Beast, and Chariot Riders being scaled incorrectly in cases where there is more than one rider. The Sunmaker now properly deals fire damage with its explosions. What? This whole time I was shooting with Sunmaker, all those rockets. Tens of thousands of rockets hitting, and they were not causing fire damage? Only in my head. No wonder the trolls were not dying. Rock dropping abilities no longer deal fire damage. Only fire rocks deal fire damage. Arrow arrows of fucking hell, you can't put a Q, S and H together. Akshi arrows of Akshi ability now correctly deals fire damage. So if we're not doing fire damage before, that's the Huntsman general ability. War Hydra Fire Breath could. Oh my god, look at this! Warp Lightning now correctly deals magical damage this whole time! This whole time! Physical damage. Okay, CA, we know that you don't put everything into patch notes, but such embarrassing things I don't want to see anymore in the patch notes. Just hide it under the rug. Just don't say such things don't put it in the patch notes anymore. This shit is embarrassing. Well, Blurg, if it's not doing magical damage, it's doing physical damage. That's how it works. Were you saying you were doing fire damage? Fire is physical damage. Physical and fire damage is the same. Just fire damage does more damage to the characters weak to fire. It could be unsuspected damage reduced by no resistance. That's physical damage. If the damage doesn't have a modifier like magic or fire, it's physical damage. Unique roar and unique colors now display correctly when playing as the Blessed Red. Fix an issue where the Death Runner's class definition was set to missile infantry instead of melee infantry. This is what I was... Clan Pestilence campaign, guys. Clan Pestilence campaign, I told you the Death Runners are categorized as missile units, and now it's all of a sudden they're melee infantry. Oh man. Fix an issue where the sharply graded boss and the raw version were part of a missile chariot cup grouping in custom battles. Fix several issues where unit banners were mounted too low on all Harpy units, Dark Elf, Black Dragon and Dark Pegasus mounts. For players who own the Blood for the Blood God 2, Effects pack. Dismembered has been enabled on the following units: Dreadlord all, Supreme Sorceress all, Dead Hag, and Candid Assassin. Chariot articulation has been adjusted and fixed across all chariots, improving their reliability when turning and reducing the amount of visual issues when a chariot could clip into itself. One moment, guys. Sorry guys for interruption. Hawk Riders can no longer secure capture points. Flying units should not be able to secure capture points. No shit. The skill Strike the Runes now correctly reduces rune cooldown for the Rune Lord's master version of each rune. I was not working on the Rune Lord on every rune. Haven't even noticed. Working in my head. Veil of Shadows will no longer cover units in blood. Rune Lords using Armored Doom no longer look like they have been possessed by the most chaotic of demons when loaded into campaign battles. I've seen that. It looked like the Thing. Players can no longer generate armies that exceed unit caps in quick battles. Move the enforcement lines on one of the island maps to a more standard position to prevent strange enforcement behavior outside of the playable area. Norscan Wolf Chariot's splash attack area size has been increased, but nothing about removing their ranged attack. They keep it on fire at will. Empire Infantry Line Die Traitor will no longer trigger as frequently. Warlock Gisele's trails will no longer fade too quickly and are now visible from a distance. Yeah, I noticed this. War Vagans will no longer say Outriders when selected. Hallelujah. Karlburg should not be using the Sigmar statue map anymore. Felix X Dagger will no longer clip through his chainmail during animations. The corpse lifespan will now revert to recommended settings correctly. But doesn't say it's been fixed, the thingy. Revert to recommended settings correctly. Does it mean they fixed the bug or they change it all the time? Fix the crash that could occur when changing graphics settings during battle. Fix scaling issues which could occur on heroes and lords mounting vehicles and chariots. I know about this. You see. Remember, guys, that giant great eagle in the jungle we seen the other day. That's probably this was the issue. That was happening even before, even Warhammer 1. Fix an issue causing crossmen filled by pilgrims or Myrmidia rogue army to T-pose in battle. Increase the size of the Razordron projectile VFX. Marauder Chieftain no longer loses passive rage when removing their other abilities. Wolfrig now uses the Lord version of rage instead of the unit version. VFX will no longer be called on some maps when graphic settings are on medium. Remove unnecessary hard collision areas on high elf minor settlement maps and smooth out some terrain. Oh, this is interesting. Setting a formation while in the deployment phase of the battle will no longer cause some units to inch further and further away from the rest of the army. Yeah, this does happen. This has happened sometimes. Audio improvements and fixes. Various audio bug fixing performance optimizations. Campaign map audio balance to ensure overall consistency between Warhammer 1, Warhammer 2, and Warhammer 2 DLC assets. Campaign reverb balance pass. Audit audio ducking systems to campaign map to add clarity and focus to the mix. Assets for settlement loops in campaign have been updated for some factions. I love when they update audio. Updated campaign vortex audio assets. Skaven and Dwarf campaign ships now have engine sounds on them. Campaign ships now have faction specific audio. Reduced frequency vocalizations triggered in certain stances. Fixed and bug where Beastman music would soar between two tracks when first starting in campaign. Battle updated some ability spell sounds to better match visuals. Various updates to battle environments, including asset reworks and performance improvements. Updates gave Death Runners to use new Ashen Triad voice actors. Fixed some issues with abilities UI sounds. Refactor crossbow sounds. Reworked Luminar charge up sounds to stop triggering behavior. Some tweaks to Alit and Nars decoy dead sound. General, optimize which content is loaded to help with overall loading performance improvements. Adjusted UI sounds to increase loading streaming performance. Added new UI sounds to custom battle menu. Told the demon to shut up. Correct some translation errors for the Hunt and the Beast cinematics in Russian. Fixed the line of Gorok more than Emperor's fly by playing in Russian rather than Polish. Okay. Okay, so what do we have here? Battle balance. Here we go, boys. The esports part of the patch notes. Knockdown changes. We have made a significant change to the knockdown system, which unfairly punished heavily armored units. The knockdown system works like this. When a unit is knocked down, it enters a knockdown idle state where it stays on the ground for a while. This time is determined by a random roll between 0.7 and 2 seconds. The unit's armor is then multiplied by 0.02 and added to the knockdown time. Practically, this means that the units would add 0.5 seconds to their knockdown time for every 25 armor they had. So the heavy units that should not even be knocked down in the first place, fly over, halve them up, would run on the ground longer. We have now removed armor from the calculation, and knockdown time is only determined by the roll now. As a rule, this means that heavily armored units will be getting up substantially faster after being knocked down. Okay, this is actually big for the heavy units. Improved splash damage. Ooh, always good. The following on-foot units have had animation metadata tweaks, making several of their splash attacks bigger to bring them more in line with the splash attacks used by Warhammer 1 characters. High Elf Princess, High Elf Prince, Alitanar, Tyrion. Tyrion is getting better cleave. So he's gonna be even be better as the one-man army. High Elf Noble, High Elf Lord, Master of Hoard, Teclis, High Elf Mage, Dark Elf Sorceress. That's pretty much a lot of Warhammer 2 stuff. Oh, they didn't forget about the Lich Priest. We definitely need his splash capabilities. I don't see Setra on the list. Yes, Setra was already tricked. On foot. So it's on foot only, huh? Unit ballad changes. Here we go. Khazrak on the chariot has lost armor, minus 10 armor. So he's squishier again. This is the second time they nerf armor on Khazrak. Chaos Spawn no longer marked as high threat. Bretonia, Green Knight, plus 25 hit reaction, ignore chance, plus 25 knock interrupt, ignore chance. Albert got 10 more damage. Reduce radius of projectile to match regular trebuchet projectiles. Gerail Relic now marked as high threat. Is this for the AI decisioning? Paladin got another plus 8 bonus as a large. Malekith on Chariot lost 10 armor, but got 35% missile block chance, so basically got shield. Dark Riders got plus 3 leadership. Argand Executioners have gotten a health buff. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's 400 extra health. That's a lot. That's big. It's a big buff for the Hargan Executioners. 400 extra health. The Blackguards got also 4 extra health per entry. This is big buffs for the health. Which elves mounted on the Cauldron of Blood now throw knives at enemies when in melee combat? I think they had 8600 health like Akitama, so they have 9000 now. Ghost Master Engineer added magical projectile damage. Organ Gun made projectile 1.5 times as accurate. Organ Guns, they're average. I guess that must have been in that post on Reddit has been recently when the guy was reading the Dwarf Artillery. Rangers with great weapons got more range. That's nice. That's nice. This I like this. I like to make them a little more usable. Flagellants got 2 more melee defense. Great Swords got their +1. They actually nerfed the Great Swords with bonuses of infantry. Now they bring it back. Finally, free company militia fire while moving. Damn, that's a lot of fun. Luminarch of Hysh has more range, more ammo. Warwagon got 40 more ammo. Yeah, the Warwagon was running out of ammo fast. This is actually a big buff. So it makes Warwagon do even potentially more damage and kills during the battle. That's a 20% increase. The Warwagon has fast guns. So they need ammo. Calfrans have received +7 melee defense on foot, warhorse, battered warhorse, and imperial Pegasus. Oh man, come on, game. We just played a Calfrans and battered warhorse. We could have had 7 more melee defense. He actually needs melee defense. He has low melee defense. I think put his melee defense to 45, but not on the Deathclaw. Oh boy, what do we have here? Boar boy Zbigans got +15 armor. Orc Boar Boys +5 armor, +2 charge bonus. Savage Orc Boar Boys +2 armor. What the hell? +2 armor? Is there a 0 missing somewhere? Why didn't everything armor on these chariots, man? This is gonna make them so much worse in survival. Oh man, god damn! My Forest Goblin Spider Riders got -2 charge bonus. Why didn't I nerf Forest Goblin Spider Riders? How are they gonna do damage when they're cavalry? I've never even seen them do any damage. It's just like they just make contact and just stop, and the enemy just routs them. What the fuck is this? The charge is like 20 something, maybe. It's good for chasing because it's fast unit with poison. So now they lost charge, huh? Yeah, let's lower he charged even further in the cavalry. Orc War Boss gets more armor-piercing melee damage, so they made the Orc War Boss do more damage. Grimgor Ironheart is now marked as high threat. Does this mean he's gonna get focused with range more, or focused much more, or is just an indicator? Nothing, you know, air wise. Azza got more armor piercing damage. Okay, what the? Okay. For a second I thought it was like Ithamar Chariot. So Major Ithamar Chariot gets additional 50 armor. I think they had 60 armor on Ithamar Chariot, so they have 110 now, same as the other Ithamar Chariot. Terranok Chariot's got 30 more armor. Ooh, that's buff. Phoenix Guard got 4 more health. Swordmaster's got 4 more health. Wow. So this means that both Phoenix Guard and the Swordmaster's got 400 more health. Damn. Poor Black Orcs and Chosen now falling behind. This was the only thing these units had over these units have special effects and abilities and all the resistances. The health. So the Phoenix Guard now have from 8,000 to 8,400 health. With 30% base phys resist, 35 possible, 5 fort save, and additional from Diamond Guardian Phoenix. That's a big buff. The Swordmaster is getting more health, also big buff. This changes both to the Dark Elves and the High Elves will make the Black Orcs and the Chosen look much worse now. Bestigors too. So the Black Orcs only advantage was a huge health pool. The Chosen as well, it's not so much anymore. With 400 more health, the Phoenix Guard might be better overall than the Chosen Halberdiers. Probably is. Because they have Diamond Guardian Phoenix and healing. Dragon Princess lost 1 base melee damage but get 1 AP damage. It's always nice to get more AP damage. The Blizzard Aura possibility now also reduces base melee damage by 12%, so not just AP, also base. It's a buff to the Frostheart Phoenix. Hand of the Shadow Crown is now playable hero unit in custom battle as part of the campaign exclusive units. Range assassin hero with encourage, stalk, Vanguard deployment and fires while moving. Has the ability to loose and slippery. Lizardman. Bastiladon Arc of Sodic plus 1 base damage on Arc of Sodic ability, 33% damage increase. Cold One Spear Riders minus 1 melee attack. Again. Come on, it's like... I'm not even gonna build this building anymore. I'm not even gonna go to the Blessed Ones. Minus 1 melee attack. They keep nerfing cavalry because of multiplayer. The cavalry is getting worse and worse every patch. Temple Guard lost 5 leadership. That doesn't matter, they have high leadership. Okay. Higher trajectory for the Razordons, but they have short range. Marauder Chieftain, foot plus 2 run speed. He finally gave in to coming along for some cardio with the rest of the crew and now matches normal Norscan foot speed. They will slow around. Marauder Chieftain on the Chariot lost armor. Shaman Sorcerer gained armor. So they basically changed the armor on a lot of chariots. But the base Marauder Chariot gained 20 armor. Those things are already hard to kill. Ice Trolls 4 melee defense. Oh, that's actually quite nice. Quite nice. This is gonna help them a lot in melee. Marauder Hunters throwing axes, more armor, more AP damage, and more projectile range makes them a little more bigger threat. Marauder Great Weapons got +3 AP melee damage. Oh, that's a nice buff. Nice buff. Skaven. Death Runners have lost 28% of the unit size. They had 100 on Ultra, which means now they have 72. But they got 19 health, more health for Entity. They lowered their melee attack and added 10 plus 10 bonuses to infantry. So they made them more elite and more specialized. I mean, this is good. They're gonna slaughter archers even faster now. It's actually pretty nice for Death Runners. They did lose 4 attack, but they get 10 anti-infantry. This is nice. This is good. Poison Wing Globadiers +2 health per entity, +3 leadership, +4 armor, +12 AP projectile damage, +2 base projectile damage, -32 bonus versus large projectile, add direct damage counter. So these guys no longer will melt large units, huh? But instead, they'll do more damage, and they're doing some kind of direct damage contact effect, like what? Some kind of debuff. That Globe Bombardiers got more ammo. That's crazy. They're all pretty powerful. Is the full unit size large, not ultra? Well, -20 entities would not make sense on large, because they said -28% unit size. They said 28. There is 100 Death Runners on ultra, 75 on large. So this is basically, they confirm it, you know, they balance on ultra scale, not large scale. For all you naysayers there, ultra has been a thing in Warhammer 2 for a while. This is ultra scale balancing. Weapon team text alterations. This is pretty much the proof they balance the things around ultra scale. This is the proof. Unit names change now that their weapon team status is reflected in the unit category. Rattling gun weapon team, rattling guns, warp fire thrower weapon team, warp fire throwers. Tomb Kings, ooh, they have a lot of stuff. Let's see what we have here. Sepulchral Stalkers, added stock attribute. No shit. Took you long enough. They lost 25 missile resistance, lost attack, lost bonuses was large. They attack slower, but get more ammo. Reduce number of projectiles per to 1. They actually fixed this unit. They made him a stalker and they improved the range attack. So you're no longer just, you know, a weird melee unit. What do we have here? This sounds something. Necropolis Knights got more armor, +20 armor. They already have a lot of armor. +12 health. +12 health. Well, it's still a good health buff. They attack slower. So they are tankier with more health, but attack slower. They like nerfing cavalry. Cavalry needs to kill faster, not tank longer. Doom Scorpion has lost 400 health. God damn. That's a big nerf. Oh my god, another buff for Casket of Souls. Jesus. Plus 1 meter explosion radius. Faster cooldown. Projectiles are now 2.5 times as accurate. Holy shit, they're making Casket of Souls super overpowered. They added more projectiles, explosion radius. What the hell? Man, guys, if you play Tomb Kings, just go spam Caskets. Caskets become super overpowered. That is insane. Arkan got armor on Chariot. Kalida lost armor on Chariot. Karip lost armor on Chariot. So Tomb King Chariots have lost armor but gained missile resistance. It's actually Tomb King, the Lord. Okay, never mind. They got a shield. Skeleton Archer Chariots, 30 armor. Skeleton Chariots, 30 armor. Damn. So the tier 1 chariots are not heavy. They're not just medium chariots. That's insane. This is gonna make the early game even easier with the Tomb Kings. Those chariots had like 50 armor. They're now gonna have 80, and you can buff them even higher through skills. This is great. Bone Giant does more damage, more bonuses large, but it reduced accuracy by roughly 30%. I'm not even sure what to say on those 30%. I guess they were sniping stuff. Vampire Coast, Scurvy Dogs got charge and melee defense. Depth Guard got more melee defense. No health, huh? Deck Dropper Bombers lost ammo but get more damage. Does this mean they're gonna... this is the flying ones. Deck Gunners gain more damage. Rotting Leviathan gained additional bonuses infantry and more can hit more targets. That's a nice buff. So the Rotting Leviathan is gonna be more dangerous against infantry. Okay, what do we say with the vampire counts? Blake Coach plus 1050 mass. What about damage? The thing does not damage. Hex rates plus 2 melee defense plus 3 melee AP. Oh, nice buff for the hex rates. More damage, they only do really good damage. Cannon rates got a big buff, 6 melee defense. Black Knights have become anti-infantry. Pretty nice. Oh, what do we have here? Graveguard gained melee attack and armor piercing damage. That's a nice buff for Graveguard. Graveguard is gonna be even deadlier now. This is big. This is big. This is gonna make the Graveguard eat infantry. This is huge because they like the AP damage. The Graveguard great weapons, more attack, more AP damage, more base damage, more bonuses infantry. This is the second time the Graveguard great weapons have been buffed in this way, where they buff everything but nerf charge bonus. This is the unit that this is a great sword weapon, great weapons unit that has the worst charge of all great weapon units ever. I guess the Graveguard is supposed to be slow, not supposed to be very effective with the charge. They keep nerfing charge on this unit. But who cares about one charge bonus nerf when they gain the attack and damage? That unit is not supposed to even be charging. They just the charge becomes so weak on that unit that's not relevant. One charge is one attack and one damage. The Graveguard got a really nice buff. This is huge for the Graveguard. This unit has been buffed several times, more so than the regular Graveguard. This has become the Graveguard you want to use. Unless you really need shields, you use this Graveguard. This has become excellent unit. They have so much bonus to infantry now. Banshee has received a +8 melee attack. Damn, much better at dueling now. And I think a Banshee can be a weapon master, which is also now 8 attack and 35 armor piercing damage. You can totally get a very strong duelist Banshee.
Oh my god! Have you seen that shit? Holy shit! What the hell?
Well, like at Nama, of course, you're gonna use Graveguard over Skeleton Fodder. Skeleton Fodder is worse than ever because the AI get experience now. By the way, no mention of the AI experience adjustments. Thank you, presenter. One charge equals one attack, one damage. The charge value is added to the attack and damage. Creep Horrors. Not +1 melee attack, but +3. Okay, guys, no Kekvi. This is acceptable. This is a respectable buff. Respectable buff here. We'll take it.
Oh my god! Have you seen that shit? Holy shit! What the hell?
Thank you, Nature. Warriors of Chaos, let's see. Forsaken got more armor. Didn't they nerf their armor in the past? Because they were fast.
Oh my god! Have you seen that
Gorbish Chariots got even more armor. Damn. Chaos Chariots more armor. The hero changes for defense. Marauders get weapons. It's like nothing, you know, nothing that big really. Already not the big here changed. Like Marauder greater weapons is like multiplayer unit. And the bottom of the page. Spells and abilities. Rebalanced all abilities that modify melee attack or melee defense, reducing their effectiveness by roughly 10%. Rebalance all abilities that modify melee base damage or melee AP damage, increasing their effectiveness by 20%. For the purpose of streamlining some clear communication, the battle layer, we have updated all projectile spawned by abilities to be unblockable. This applies to bombardments, magic missiles, and more. It was clear after internal discussion that our current implementation didn't really communicate to the player when they could rely on a shield to block or not block a magic missile. Shields still block regular arrows as normal. Brace Scream upgraded. Does more armor piercing damage. Actually seen this on the top. Rod of Corruption added 3 max uses. War Bomb now deals magic damage. So the types of damage were missing a lot of this stuff. Rune of Rot and Rune has been nerfed again. They redesign and nerf this shit like every update. That slow ability has been nerfed. That the Rune Smiths and the Rune Lords have. Anything here is important. They nerfed the Prospector Spyglass by 3 accuracy. A big deal. That's it, boys. That's it. No mention of experience adjustment for the for the AI units over time. And turn time reduction still being the most important thing, and the faction naming changing. There is always stuff that's not in the patch notes, and it's for us to discover. Hopefully, there'll be not too many bugs and not many issues, because it's gonna be some months before we get a new arbiter case. It's coming in about 3 days, boys. 3 days. We have a Vloten campaign until then. Who knows? Maybe we finish it before. I'm falling asleep. It's been a very long day for me. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.